This is Dissecting the Market. I'm James, and today we need to talk about the craziness that's going on in the market at the moment, and more specifically, the Reddit group WallStreetBets. So unless you've been living under a rock for the last few days, you've probably seen that GameStop shares have gone soaring into the stratosphere.
This GameStop situation is the craziest I think I've ever seen.
Where we've seen substantial moves on names where they've got a significant amount of short interest. In
the systemic issue of the shorting that's going on when you have this excess interest in a stock beyond what the issue is. That has to be addressed. It has to be addressed immediately.
Now, there's more to the story than the mainstream media have made out, which I'd like to have a chat to you about. But there's also more to WallStreetBets. Again, it's not rosy on either side, so I just kind of wanted to give you a little rundown on what's going on with it all. So first off, just to run over what's actually happened and why GameStop shares have rushed up like they have done. Now, I know most of my viewers will know what short selling is and how it works, but just really quickly, just for the few of you that don't understand it, I'm just going to quickly run over what short selling is and how it works. So there's a lot more to it than this, but just to give you a really quick explanation, a short seller is an individual, or more often than not, an organization that believes the stock price is too high and they think it's going to come down. So they want to bet on the share price coming down. Now you might wonder, how do you make money on a share price coming down? Well, what they do is they borrow that share from a shareholder effectively, and with the view of giving it back to them at a lower price. So if they borrow that share at say $10, it drops to $5 and they give it back at $5, they keep the $5 difference. And that's the general idea of short selling. So some of these short sellers can be really nasty and quite underhand in their tactics. So effectively what they'll do is they'll open a short position on a company. They'll then blast the media, they're big organizations. They'll put all over the media how bad that company is and how worthless the shares are, and they'll try and scare people out of their shares so that the price goes down so that they can then profit off of that. And this has been going on for years and years. These short sellers influence the market to bring the price down to make a profit, and they make a hell of a lot of money doing this. And obviously quite a number of my investments over the years have been affected by short sellers. Neo, for instance, was constantly being bashed by various short sellers all the way up. Luckily the bulls won through on that one, but again, these guys will put an article out after they've opened their position and just literally influence the market to make themselves money. Now this is kind of where it gets interesting. Some companies are so heavily shorted that there's more than 100% of the shares shorted. So there's more than 100% short position, maybe 110 or whatever. Now, it's crazy that this is allowed. Basically, brokers are obviously selling short positions to multiple people, or shorts are selling them positions on again. Either way, there's more than 100% short positions on some stocks. And this is something the guys at the Reddit group WallStreetBets picked up on. And in comes GameStop. Now, GameStop to me isn't a very exciting stock. It's not a particularly bad stock, but to me, someone that's kind of interested in gaming, I remember the days of queuing up outside GameStop when I was younger. And nowadays, it's all gone online, everything's digital. So to me, I can't really see a long-term future for it unless something changes fundamentally. However, they're turning over good money, they're making pretty good money, they're a big company, and they're kind of a normal $20 stock. Nothing special, but they're worth their $20, nothing more really, nothing less, they're just a normal $20 stock. So then Citron comes along. Citron is a big short seller, and they open a large short position on GameStop before writing an article on them, basically bashing the stock, saying get out now, pull your money out, it's going to halve in no time, blah, blah, blah. Now the guys over at WallStreetBets were infuriated reading this article. They felt that their investment in GameStop, it was worth the $20. But they also noticed that there was more than 140% short position on GameStop, meaning there was more shares borrowed out than there was actually available. Now they worked out that if they all just buy en masse together and hold on to these shares without selling, the price will keep going up and up and up. And the reason being is as the price moves up, the short sellers will hit a margin call, which means they'll then have to buy a share at a higher price to cover themselves, which again pushes the price up even more, causing more short sellers to sell their position. But because there's no shares available, it pushes the price up higher and higher and higher and higher, and it's a vicious cycle. Now, this plan really worked. I have never seen anything like this in trading before. These guys have managed to rally round and they are not selling. It seems that they don't even care about the money, most of these guys. They're there for the principle to screw over these short sellers that are literally manipulating the market. They're shorting a position. They're then writing articles. They're often making lies up about stocks to bring the price down. And they're literally manipulating the market to make themselves as much as they possibly can. And these guys aren't having any of it. These guys are sticking it to them. Now, to give you an example of some of the money these guys have lost, Citron, the original short seller, has apparently lost $1 billion for every $7 the stock's moved. $1 billion for every $7 the stock's moved, which is a crazy amount when you think about it. And that's just one short seller. I mean, these guys have absolutely had their arses handed to them by these guys. The crazy thing is, it doesn't seem to want to stop going up and up and up. And why would it? If these guys aren't selling, it is this vicious circle. And I've seen some of these Wall Street guys, these WallStreetBet guys, saying they are not selling any of their shares till $5,000, which is ludicrous. I mean, even where it is now is ludicrous for the company themselves. It's certainly nothing to do with the fundamentals of the company. And it's certainly nothing to do with any of the, GameStop haven't all of a sudden started selling a lot more stuff. It's nothing to do with that at all. It did get me wondering, where will this all end? I mean, if these guys really won't sell their shares and the short sellers are just stuck, I really don't know where it's going to end. I've seen they've kind of tried to halt the stock. So we've seen loads of halting of stocks, which is just, to me, it's infuriating because when's the last time they halted a stock that was crashing down? They don't care about the retailers, but as soon as these guys are losing money, I mean, when the shorts are making so much money and Luckin's crashing down, they're not there helping the retailers, halting the stock, giving people a chance to get out. But when it's the other way around, all of a sudden they're halting the stock when it's going up too quickly.
David, we do have now some statements from Robinhood and Interactive Brokers about restricting trading on some names. The statement out of Robinhood says, our mission at Robinhood is to democratize finance for all. We're proud to have created a platform that has helped everyday people from all backgrounds shape their financial futures and invest for the long term. We continuously monitor the markets and make changes where necessary. In light of recent volatility, we are restricting transactions for certain securities to position closing only.
And today we've seen their next tactic to try and stop this, blocking people from buying shares of this company, of GameStop. So we've seen Robinhood, Traded 212, Webull, E-Trade, all of the retail acts blocking people from being able to buy a GameStop share. They're fine for you to sell it, but they don't want you to buy, which to me is just absolutely infuriating, because they're more than happy to sell you a share on a company that's shooting down. More than happy. Yeah, you lose money, no problem. We don't mind. But if it's going up, if you want to buy a share in this company that's roaring up, they won't sell it to you. It's when did they become your financial advisors? It's absolutely ludicrous that they're getting away with this. And from what I gather, places like Robinhood are saying, well, we'd rather pay the legal costs than the costs it will be to our investors. It's absolutely ridiculous. And retail have been blocked out like this. But this is their way of fighting back by the looks of things. So where does this leave GameStop shares? Should you be buying them? Should you be selling them? To be honest with you, I have absolutely no idea. I have never seen anything like this in the market. I know I'm personally not getting involved in it, but I am watching from afar, enjoying watching it as a fan of the stock market. I have seen that there's a couple of apps, I think Webull and E-Trade, that are starting to let you buy GameStop again. So this story certainly isn't over. We're kind of in the middle of it at the moment, watching it unfold. It's fascinating, eye-opening, and to be honest, a little scary. I've seen a lot of my solid stocks come down. It looks like people are probably selling shares in their long positions to buy into GameStop. And also possibly some of the short sellers are having to sell some of their long positions to cover their losses in GameStop, which has obviously just had a knock-on effect on the rest of the market, and we've seen a lot of red the last couple of days. I have had a few people asking me if I'm buying GameStop. I can completely understand why you are. You're putting it to the man and all the rest of it. I unfortunately don't have money to throw away, and I only buy stocks in companies I believe in, and unfortunately I don't believe in GameStop at this point. So it's just something I wouldn't put my money into personally. But again, I can appreciate what these guys are actually doing. It's pretty amazing to watch. Now, I want to give you a quick word of warning on WallStreetBets, because obviously everybody is singing their praises at the moment, running around with WallStreetBets flags and all the rest of it, really happy with it all. Their following has gone from, I think, 1.5 million to 5.5 million in 2 days, which is crazy. So people are obviously looking to them, thinking that they're going to get into the next thing that WallStreetBets are going to put out there. But I just want to give you a word of warning, and really there's more to WallStreetBets than just this. They have a long history. The clue is in the name, bets. They're basically a group of gamblers. The majority, don't get me wrong, you've got some clever people in the group. Obviously they found this, and I'm not saying they're all gamblers, but historically they have been a gambling type of group. So all or nothing, pump a stock that's maybe not a great stock. This whole short seller thing only really works in a company like GameStop or AMC because they don't seem to have a very good future. So they have a high short position on them, which obviously gives them this advantage to exploit the large short positions. So generally, I wouldn't call what they put out investment advice. It's maybe more swing trading, but it's certainly not something that I would be following. I'd still be doing my due diligence. I'd still be buying companies that I believe in on the long term, companies that I think are undervalued, companies that I think people aren't aware of yet, but that do something or offer something that nobody else does. This is the kind of industry that I like to invest in. Not saying that that's the best thing to do or the right or the wrong thing, but I just want to give you that word of warning that, what they've done is brilliant, and I really support everything they're doing. But just don't follow them blindly and know what they actually are. They're not an investment group. They're basically a crazy gambling group that get lucky a lot, but they also lose a lot as well. I mean, moving forward, I don't know what this is going to mean for the market. Certainly short sellers are going to be, I guess, pretty scared to short a stock more than 100% of its stock or anywhere near that. So that may change things in the future, because they'll think these guys are going to come in and fuck us if we do this. So I do think that we're probably not going to see as much of that. And also I think about Citron as well. We regularly see him short a stock, put an article out. That's how he makes money. The stock price comes down and he makes his money. I'm thinking that guy is not going to want to put out an article next time he shorts a stock, because these guys are going to be all over it, or you'll have fear that these guys will be all over it and fuck him over again. So I don't know how this is going to change the market. It's all very weird. It's quite exciting to watch. My advice is just watch from afar. I'm not actually going to buy into any of these stocks myself. But obviously, I do support these guys. If you do put your money into GameStop, know that it could go all the way down. These guys know this, that they're putting it in. It isn't about the money for them. So if you want to chuck your money in there, possibly lose it, that's fine. You may make a load as well, but either way, we have no idea which way it's going. Anyone that says that they do is talking crap, because I don't think anyone's seen anything like this before. And who knows what the establishment will come out with next. They blocked everyone from buying them today. Who knows what it'll be tomorrow. It's certainly not a guaranteed thing. If you buy it now, it's definitely going to be more tomorrow. So just bear that in mind when you're playing with these stocks. If you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. I'll see you on the next one.